I don't have it. So I think it resides on Larry's computer. I don't see it anywhere in here. Hello,
Hi, everybody. Guess
Welcome
what?
Oh, go ahead.
No, guess what, Larry? I mean, we don't have Larry today. Oh my goodness, Robbie. So welcome to Dog
I don't
Hugs.
look like Larry.
I know. Welcome to Dog Hugs. I don't look like Larry either, and I don't have a stuffed Larry yet. I will have to get a stuffed Larry down the road. Don't you agree?
There you go. There you go.
So, shall we give
everybody Larry?
Oh, bobblehead Larry, yes, I love that. So let's give everybody a big dog hug today.
I'm always never sure which side of the camera to go to.
Especially because we are all going to send lots of love and healing to Larry, who is recovering a little bit today. No slip and fall. It's elective, and he is doing great. So a shout out to him from all of us here at Dog Hugs. We love you. We miss you. And today is a show that I am, I'm kind of sad that Larry's not here, but they're going to come back because we love these guys so much.
Yes.
They are two of the smartest and hardest working people in the industry, in the pet industry. So you're going to want to tune in and hang around and sit and stay a while and hear what we have to say about them. But before that, how you doing, Robbie?
I'm doing well. We're having sunshine. Actually, I'm very excited. We got the first 2 peas on our pea plant. And our dogs absolutely love the peas from the pea plants. And the first time they are out there and we walk them over to it and we pick one off, every time we go out now, they run right over for the plants. So they're very excited and they do like their fruits and vegetables. So it was an exciting day in my life today.
That's awesome. And I'm jealous because I used to run out to our garden when I was a kid and pull the peas, all the peas off in a bowl, run in and, you shuck them all or pull the little peas out. And then someone comes by and like takes a handful and you're like, dang it, I have to do that again.
Well, these are the ones where you can eat the pod. So the snow peas.
Yeah, those are great. So and I've used those as a treat for dogs before because they're a safe item.
Our dogs all love fruits and vegetables, which is good.
Yes, that's a wonderful thing. And we're going to talk a little bit more about some of those of nature's ingredients in the product that we have today. And, segueing into fireworks and also making sure that your pet is not only prepared, but also some tips to help for those that are not. And if you're not and you're starting now, yes, it is a little bit late, but let's get started anyway. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite things to do is I love to take my dogs on a think walk around my house. So I turn on some, in my case right now, it's fireworks. So I turn on a booming on my stereo inside the house fireworks. But I take my dog for a walk around the outside of my house and I have them sit every 5 steps. So 5 steps, sit, 5 steps, sit, 5 steps, sit. And I actually use a treat or something for them to focus on that they don't get to eat any of while they go around the house, but they get some at the end. So and I have a couple of other tricks. It depends on where your pet lies, but that's a really great one is the think walk around the house or even just across the front yard, like across the sidewalk in front of your house, back and forth with a lot of sitting because it's a way to wear them out mentally because they have to think about sitting that whole time. So also the second most important part for right now is microchipping your pet. Or making sure that the information on the microchip is up to date because who knows what could happen. One of my dogs ran out my backyard one day when I accidentally left the back door open. I have her chip always updated, but for her to run out the back door after a squirrel and for the shelter to call me and say, Geraldine, why do we have your dog? That's pretty funny, right? Like, why is she here? She's so good. What happened? I'm like, she snuck out the back door when I wasn't looking after a squirrel and ended up in someone else's arms. So, and she didn't have her collar on at the time, and we'll go into that later, but it was really actually funny and a way that, we can actually pay attention to what our pet's reactionary behavior is and help shape it at this time. And that's really important. So.
Well, like you said, it's like your dog didn't have her collar on. We don't typically have our dog's collars on in the house because of the jangling of the chains.
Mm-hmm. And so also at least, dangerous.
I feel better that they're chipped, but still, if they're running around loose and people don't see a collar, it's a lot more difficult for somebody to, grab your dog and, do the work that it might take to get your dog to see, to a vet or a shelter to see if it's chipped. I never
Right.
think about the collars in the house because of all of their, their rabies tag. And we also have the other tag on their collar with our contact information. So I probably should just deal with the sounds of the tags and keep their collars on in the house.
Well, I just keep them by the door. So when they're in their kennel, they don't have them on. When I'm playing in the house, they're not on. But I put them on before we go outside.
Oh, ours always do, yeah.
So I always just keep them in that one special place. That way I don't have to listen to the dangling, and they can't damage themselves by catching those dangling things on anything like raised water bowls, or even a vent in the floor of your house if they're sniffing around. I mean, there's many, especially that decorative furniture that has that curly cue. I mean, your pet can actually get their neck stuck with that. So with that being said, we'll go into about that later. That's definitely a must discuss. But today I want to introduce you to a couple of people who I feel are revolutionizers in the pet industry, and they are the two of my favorites. I'm blessed to know them. I'll tell you the story about how we met later, but I will definitely surmise to say they invented a whole new category many years ago for pet wellness, pet health. And they're both, Joe Roetheli is the founder, and Doug Pendley is the executive vice president of A Pet's Best Life, which is a company that has come out with this wonderful dog chew called a Yummy Comb. So let's bring right? And they smell so good. So let's bring them in. Bring them in, and I'll give a couple more details as we bring them in. They're a Kansas City. Hi guys. Hi. There you go. They're a Kansas City company, and they've worked together for 20 years. And we'd like to welcome you to our Dog Hugs, our Dog Hugs chat session today about pets and helping pets live their best life. So, big dog hug to the both of you.
Thank you.
And Joe, first of all, congratulations on all of your success over the years. But most importantly, I'd love to hear what inspired you to get involved in the pet industry in the first place, just a little, and then segue into why Yummy Comb.
Thank you, Geraldine. Well, I'm a dog lover from very early in my life. I grew up on a farm and had a family dog named Pal, and he was my best buddy. And he'd take me to the mailbox and back every day, and he got killed in a farm accident. And I only cried for a few months and the rest of my life, basically. And so dogs are very dear to me. I have been quoted frequently that I can exist without a dog, but I can't live without a dog. I got to have a dog around somewhere to be going full speed. And so out of that, I started thinking about a few years ago, what could we possibly do to give dogs a better life? And so that's how the company name Pet's Best Life came about. It is the name of the company and its mission too, to do what we can to improve dogs' life and thereby give the owners more joy and a longer term with their life, because we all know how saddening it is to lose a dog. And Doug, basically, we worked together previously, and I called him, a year and a half ago on a Saturday afternoon, and I said, "Hey, Doug, what are you doing these days?" He said, "Well, I've been working for this company in Baltimore for a couple of years now, but I talked to my wife this morning, and I'm not going to do that after the first of the year anymore." And that was in October. And Doug, tell me what happened at that table.
Do tell.
Basically, I said, I think it's time to retire. I've been in this business a long time, and that was about 10 o'clock in the morning. And so I have 2 Labradors, so I went out in the garage and I sat in what I was hoping would be my retirement chair. And 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Joe calls and says, "Hey, I got this idea. What the heck are you doing anyway?" And I said, "Well, I retired." And the story is I've been retired now between 6 and 8 hours, and I've been back at it full speed, 7 days a week. We're just having a blast. What a great place to be.
So
it is a great place to be.
So basically this Yummy Combs idea, and I got a big mock up here so everybody can see it, I think. Very different shape than anything you've seen in the pet industry previously. And its shape is very functional. It's basically kind of a honeycomb design, but the outer perimeter, we had Dr. Jan Bellows down in Florida, who Doug knew, measure the oropharynx of the throats of dogs to see how big those throats were. And then we built the sizes for the 5 different sizes of our product, so they were too big to go down a dog's throat. That the dog absolutely could not gulp it down without eating on it. And then this thin wall construction allows it to dissolve much more quickly. That if some dog does chunk off a piece, that it's going to dissolve quickly. In addition to that, when the dog starts to chew on them, their teeth go down in these holes and kind of rattle around in there, and it scrapes the dog's teeth. And the ridges serve to floss the teeth all the way around the teeth, basically. And so those are some key issues that we've found that really can improve the life. The fact that they dissolve easier makes the nutrients available to the dog more quickly, and this thin wall also allows us to bake these to cure the product at very low temperatures for very short periods of time, where you're not driving off the volatile ingredients. So the vitamins and things we can keep them in here much better than you would with a traditional product. And the product itself is 44% protein. It's high quality protein, and you really ought to look at quality and quantity of protein when you're buying a dog treat, because the protein is the foundation for the nutrition of the dog. And there's a lot of different values out there. I could probably name off some companies, but I don't want to do it on the air, but that have very little protein to a lot of protein. And it really makes a huge difference in the quality and quantity of protein you have. So that is important. The other thing that we've done in here, other than the oral care and the nutrition and the safety, because they can't gulp it, and the working the teeth, so we hopefully can keep the teeth much cleaner, is we have 12 different ingredients in here simply for the benefit of the dog's wellness. And we just want to do what's really good for the dog's wellness with this whole product. That's what we're about, basically.
Which is really what helps a pet live its best life, right?
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So Doug, your dogs give it their ratings?
Oh, they're a 10, and the exercise in the morning is obviously you want to air your dogs. And my wife is down in Fort Lauderdale right now. She'll be coming up for the holiday weekend, but she takes them out in the mornings, and it's about a 2-block walk. And as soon as they've done their business, they race back and to stand in the garage because they know what's next. And what's next is a Yummy Combs. They're definitely fixated, and they'll sit there and wait for her. Doesn't matter if there's pedestrians or bicycle riders; they run right down past them because they know where their sitting position is. So
they're a great distraction tool, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
They really are. I utilize them in training often. I actually take my dog's kibble and I'll put 1 or 2 Yummy Combs in the bag, allow it to soak in some of the flavoring, and then I'll be able to supplement that and then give them the Yummy Comb at the end of a training session. So it's awesome. So Doug, what's one of your favorite ingredients in the Yummy Comb?
Well, it's kind of an odd one, and most people would say, well, I guess this makes perfectly good sense. It's called adipulkite clay. We put adipulkite clay in there for 2 basic reasons. One of the reasons is it's a non-abrasive polishing agent. Most people really don't know that. So if you can clean your dog's teeth, but it kind of gives it that little polishing as well. But the next most important piece is it acts like a magnet. So as it's going through the dog's digestive system, toxins and I call it poisons, but it's really toxins attract itself to that adipulkite clay. So in the process, it's taking those toxins out the other end. So it freshens the front end and it freshens the back end. That's my favorite one.
Do they make those for people? Are you making those for people again?
I'm not sure about that. Give us a couple
Questions come in. Doug, what's another one of your favorite ingredients? Because I know there are so many. I think it's important to at least mention a couple.
Well, we've got two Labradors. One is he is AKC registered. He's a silver lab. Most folks say, well, they don't have silver labs. Well, he is. He's just registered as a chocolate. And he's a healthy boy. We want to keep him healthy. But our yellow lab is 12 years old. So he's just getting to that age where it doesn't get up quite as fast. And one of the two ingredients actually that we include is chondroitin and glycosamine. And you've heard about it. It's on the shelf. But we put a dosage that is potent inside the treat. In fact, the state of Kentucky came back to us and said, you put enough glucosamine and chondroitin in here that if you were to feed 2 of them a day, you would actually exceed what our requirements are. So we put on the treat, feed 1 per day, just so we're not going against any regulations that states might impose on us. And believe me, they've got a lot.
Oh, absolutely. And I'd like to include the fact that these are not for puppies. Because of that ingredient, until they do come out with a new one for puppies, I would steer clear from giving these to your puppies. And you kind of have to hide them from your puppies because your puppies will try to find them, right?
Well, we want to do no harm, right? So if
no harm.
Yeah, if the state says not for puppies, then we want to make sure that we describe that properly, and we have.
Yes, and you've done a fine job. So I absolutely love the product for multiple reasons, but one of them is, I love my dog so much, and I love their heart. Their heart is one of the best things about them because that's where they operate from. So because of Yummy Combs, you actually help clean their teeth, which helps them have a healthier heart. A lot of people don't realize that they have a direct link between their heart health and your dental health. And not many people have the time or sometimes the finances to go have professional cleanings. And I've seen this through my practice for years. So you guys have created something that's so amazing to help them have a stronger heart because they have cleaner teeth. And I thank you very much for that. Are there any additional comments you'd like to make about the Yummy Comb that you think our listeners are just really wanting to hear?
Joe? Well, one of the things, I'm a big believer in protein. I have a protein drink in the morning. I want good protein for myself, and therefore I want good protein for my dog because I want him to live a long time. But if you look at the proteins, there's a great difference in protein values. It's called net protein utilization. It's really how much nutrient the dog can get out of that protein. And it varies from a high of eggs of 94, which you can think of that as 94%, down to very low 20s and 30s. And so if you have an ingredient that has 94% protein in it, and milk whey protein or casein have that, and so that's up there near 90, and you have a different protein that's at 30. To get the same value in protein for the dog, you have to get 3 times as much of that protein into the body. And so when you start looking at protein quality, it is very, very important, and not nearly enough people take that into account. A lot of people will go in the store and they'll look at products and see an array of them, and they'll go, I'll take this one, it's the cheapest. I've done some study on this recently, and you can have products that are a third of the cost of what Yummy Combs are, that when you get down to looking at the protein in terms of quality and quantity, can be 20 times more expensive than this product that looks like it's expensive on the shelf. And that's not counting all the other benefits that you're getting out of this, the oral care, the safety, and the wellness benefits. So we could almost say that if you look at the protein, we basically are giving you the oral care, the safety, and the wellness benefits free. Plus, we have a complete and balanced treat, and maybe the first one on the market for dogs. They're complete and balanced for cats. I have not seen another one for dogs. Plus, we do something that not many people do, and my wife Judy, who's been my business partner for 25 years, and so far we have told each other, but, see what tomorrow brings. But anyway, we actually individually wrap every Yummy Combs except the extra small. We have double package. But what that does, preserve freshness is a safety feature because I would be very prone to do this. I'd be in the kitchen cutting up a chicken or something, think about, oh, doggone, I didn't give Dooley his Yummy Comb today, run out, put my hand in the bag and get one. And what have I just done to the rest of that bag? I've possibly contaminated that whole bag. And I don't think you really want to do that. But what my wife really, really likes about it is she says, I can put one of these in my purse, go to work, have it in my purse all day, come home, give it to Dooley immediately when I get home, and I don't have crumbs in my purse and I don't have a smell in my purse because it's individually wrapped. So all of those things are kind of extras that we've put into this product.
I completely agree. As a trainer, my pockets, being able to keep those in the container and have them not be in tiny little crumbs is amazing. I love it, and it's been one of my saviors when it comes to retraining a dog or getting that distraction factor. And you guys actually have created a wonder chew. I seriously call it a wonder chew because it is. And I thank you so much for it. It's been such an honor in my career to be able to work with the two of you, and I look forward to much more. I would love to ask you now. Actually, I think we're going to bring Robbie back in and see if we have any comments from the audience. And I'd also like to ask you to think about a shelter shout out while we check some comments from the audience. Hi, Robbie.
I've had some people that have been commenting. Well, and I actually reached out to Joan to ask her because she said, well, let me put this up here. 15 minutes in and she's already picked up 3 great new ideas. So I wrote to her and asked her what they were because I'm very curious about what the ideas
Hi, Joan. Thank you.
Oh, there we go. Trying to get it so we can all be in the screen together.
Perfect.
I really liked what you said about, I don't want to be that huge. There we go. There we go. I really liked what you said about you could exist without a dog, but you couldn't live without a dog. I love that.
Well, it's true for me. Put my dog by my side, and we got a 12-year-old Greater Swiss Mountain Dog now.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know whether he fell off or he jumped off of the 4-wheeler some years ago and tore his back leg up, and so he's not doing as well as he could. But keep giving him some greenies for glucosamine and things, and he's still going. But here we go, doing the best we can to keep a dog as healthy as we can and as living as well.
Yummy Combs.
Yummy Combs. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I was about to correct him. I heard that slip up. That was good, wasn't it?
Sorry.
Okay, so truth be told,
I have a question, if it's okay.
sure.
So I've got many poodles, and they're prone to getting overweight really easily, especially my senior. So I guess a couple questions. Like, first of all, how much do dogs have to chew to make their teeth be clean? Number one. And number two, if I give my dog a Yummy Comb, should I cut back on some of her food? Because is that adding calories if she's eating the Yummy Comb? I'm sorry.
Well, okay. Well,
That's a great question. Go ahead, Joe.
the second one first, okay? Yes. Anytime you're giving your dog a treat that has any appreciable nutrient value, you really ought to cut back. We'd say on Yummy Combs, you ought to cut back about 10 or 15% on your food to keep them from, because the number one disease that gets dogs is actually periodontal disease, which is affiliated with the teeth. But the number one disease of dogs overall is obesity.
Right.
Yeah, so you do want to cut back on the feeding when you feed treats. And with the protein we've got in here, you can cut back 10 or 15% and be in the right ballpark. What was the first question? You have to remind me.
How much do they have to chew to like clean their teeth?
Well, if they'll chew on a Yummy Combs.
That's bigger than your poodle.
Yeah, purposely, so you can see, so they can see on TV. They get their teeth down in here, and they kind of rattle their teeth around in there, and that they will clean. We just had not long ago a nutritionist has a 12-year-old beagle.
Yes.
And she said that he's old enough that she didn't really want to put him down to have his teeth cleaned. So she started giving him greenies, and she said,
Yummy Combs.
Yummy Combs. Yeah, that's a little 25 years ago.
It's the inventor's mind, anyway.
Sorry about that. So anyway, it was chipping off the calculus on her teeth, she said. And it's from the edges of, we didn't make the edges on the Yummy Comb rounded very much. We left them so they were a little more angular and that they can get to the teeth better. And with it going all the way around the teeth like that, you're getting probably 6 times as much activity on the teeth as you would with most other treats that use in the dental arena.
And also, Robbie, the massaging of the gums by that chewing that shape helps to push bacteria out, because a lot of that bacteria lingers under the gums and gets trapped in there, and that's where the disease process starts for periodontal disease.
Right.
Okay. So, with that being said, so many dogs have that issue. This is a really great way to help make that dental part of their dental practice become a part of their daily life or every other day.
And how good to think, too, that if you've got a senior dog like I have, that I don't have to worry about having her go under anesthesia, and maybe just, using a Yummy Comb will help get some of that plaque and tartar off of her teeth and make her teeth healthier for however many more years she's with me.
Yeah. Well, that was really the emphasis behind Yummy Combs. I sat down and I actually listed out what I thought we might be able to do for dogs. And there were 6 things, and we've basically been able to incorporate all of them into this one product. And it's purely a geometry solution, whereas I really thought from the beginning it was going to be a more chemical type solution to the problem. But turned out that one day I just had this bolt of lightning that said, hey, how about geometry and hexagons? And what about bees and putting honey in it? And I'm going, hey, this sounds like it could have some legs. Let's see what can happen. So,
to all of those kids out there that say, Mom and Dad, I don't need geometry, boom.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So thank you guys. Thank you so much for all of your sharing of your inspiration and just everything about you. I think the two of you are so wonderful. Your whole team is amazing. And I'd love for us to segue into a shelter shout out. Is there a favorite shelter you'd like to talk about today?
Big hurrah, the Wayside Waifs here in Kansas City. And a side note to that, my wife and I founded a foundation, and part of what we do there, one of our main focuses is pet therapy. And so a shout out to Pets for Life here in Kansas City too. They do amazing work.
I second both of those, Wayside Waifs and the Little Red Foundation. Love their work, love their team. Robbie?
I'm sticking with Alley Cat Rescues in Alexandria Bay, New York, because it is Adopt a Shelter Cat Month. So,
fantastic. We love the Alley Cat Rescue. Thank you for all you do. And Doug and Joe, some gratitude sharing is something that we love to do here at Dog Hugs. So would you please share with us someone that you would like to give a gratitude shout out to today?
Well, I'd like to, I think I'll nominate Dr. Bellows. When he first saw the product, he was amazed, and he just loves this product. He gives it to his own dogs, and our very first video was when he took Yummy Combs home and shared it with his dog. So I'll call out Dr. Bellows.
And my vote goes to Dr. Lon Lewis, who's a board-certified vet nutritionist, has helped us formulate this product, and is he's really the walking encyclopedia. He has a PhD in physiology, board-certified veterinary dentist, has a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering. So, amazing man.
They are so amazing, and I've been lucky enough to meet one of those two, and I cannot wait to meet the other. So thanks for that gratitude shout out. We really are grateful for having you both with us today, and we look forward to having you with us again very soon. Very soon.
Joe,
So-
it's a pleasure.
Thank you
Glad
very
to do it. Call on us anytime.
Thank you. We're going to see you again very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye
Have a
now.
great day.
You too. Robbie, I'd love to hear your gratitude for the day. I know you always have so many in line that you're never sure exactly, right?
You know, my gratitude definitely this week, well, today and every day, goes to my family. I have been feeling a lot of stress lately, I think because of the world in general, life in general, and my family is always there for me. They put up with me when I don't even know why I'm feeling nervous and upset about things. So my gratitude goes to my husband, my daughter, my son, grandson Atlas, our son-in-law, my son's girlfriend Sarah. So it's my entire family that helps me stay sane when it's crazy.
Aren't they important to us?
They really are. They really are.
They are. I love your family. I haven't met all of them yet, but I love your family. And I
love
also,
Atlas a lot.
they also love you. So, which is a
They
wonderful
do.
thing. And, you know, my gratitude today goes out to holidays. I know this sounds weird, but just bear with me for a moment.
Okay.
Without holidays, we wouldn't have remembrances of things that happened. And
Ah,
not
true.
not every holiday is a, you know, buy a card, give a flower, take a gift. Not
They're
all
not
of
all
those
Christmas.
holidays. Right. They're not all Christmas. And some of the most important ones aren't Christmas.
Right.
So Juneteenth is today. And it's been a government holiday for many, many years. But we don't always think about the surroundings around this
Mhm.
holiday. And I think it's really important that we start doing that just in general with many holidays, but especially this one, because it's a Freedom Day or a Liberation Day or an Emancipation Day. And we all have our freedom that comes to us in many different ways. But have you ever equated that freedom to actually being able to walk down the street, not having someone who tells you what to do every day, like they did back in the years of this holiday being born, where the slaves in Texas were freed? And I think to myself, what if I were in those shoes? How would I have handled that? And on whichever side I would have been on,
Right,
if I would have been
right.
alive during that time. And I have such gratitude for all the people that stood up and did what was right and did it peacefully and did it properly. And I'm so grateful for them. And I'm grateful for Juneteenth for being one of those holidays that is now celebrated in a bigger way. And I hope that you'll join with me and celebrate Juneteenth even next year in a bigger way. So I'm grateful for the holidays. I really am.
And, you know, I live in New York State. And in the past, you know, it was mentioned in passing Juneteenth. Yesterday, our governor shut down all state businesses today. So, you know, as that remembrance of what happened that day. So, yeah, that came down late yesterday for all state businesses. State businesses.
You know, so, you know, in a way, it's just, I see this amazing transformation happening, and I hope everybody's jumping on board. I hope that we here at Dog Hugs are inspiring you to look at things from a different framework or a different perspective, to look at your pets as part of your family and how we can make all of us a better family, just like our product, our Joe and Doug today. The all of the driving force behind the chews, the Yummy Combs, but also their message behind love and helping your pets live their best life. So we here at Dog Hugs that's one of our missions, is to help you live your best life. I could not exist without a dog. I could not live without a dog.
I loved that when they said that earlier. It's like, oh, that has got to be in one of our comments.
So check out your Yummy Combs soon at a store near you or online. You can also go check out their Little Red Foundation. It's amazing. And I'm going to be doing some work with their foundation soon. We will be discussing that more in the future. And also take it easy on yourself this weekend. Give everybody a break. Do the extra walk, do the think walks around the house, and really find a lot of reasons to be joyful. I'm joyful for you, Robbie. I'm joyful for Larry. Best to him. We can't wait to have him back. And we have some special guests for you next week. You're going to love our guests. We have Dina Zafiris coming on. We have Arden Moore coming on. We're going to do another Ask the Dog Trainer segment. And there's the Crimeless Cat with your
Wednesday.
conversations from the cat box. So we'll fill you in more very soon about everything that's coming up. And we look forward to you joining us. We're honored you've been with us so far.
And before we go, because I did ask Joan to let us know what her 3 things that she learned were, here's what she said. So, and these were things that you had first talked about, the think walking and how to have your dog do it. And then she also learned about yummy combs.
Wonderful.
So I love that. So thank you, Joan, so much for sharing. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us on Positively Woof for Dog Hugs on June 19th, 2020. And we don't have Larry's intro and outro music. And I don't think Geraldine and I want to sing for anybody. So we're just going to leave you with some hugs. And I'm always struggling to get in front of the camera. Although my hugs.
Big dog hugs to you. Until next time. Mwah.
Bye, everybody. See you Monday.
Bye. See you Monday.